And we're back here on the State Champs Signing Day special. I'm Alan True, and I'm joined now by Sam Webb of the Michigan Insider website and radio show on WTKA. Sam knows all things Michigan, and Sam, another big class for Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines, and a particularly good in-state haul. So how did they accomplish that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of it was emphasis, first of all. You had to really put the focus on the state. I think they did a great job of that this year. And then success on the football field. You marry those two, and you combine that with Michigan State's lack of success on the football field. It really made Michigan far more appealing than they had been the prior couple of years. They had always held their own, certainly in these years where they had been down. But this was a year where they absolutely dominated. 4 of the top 5 players in the state, 6 of the top 10, 7 of the top 12. That's the kind of dominance that Michigan is used to having on the in-state slate. Now the charge is continuing that, but this year was a great start for them.
So when you talk about that recruiting class, you usually start with Donovan Peoples-Jones and Ambry Thomas. What can Michigan fans expect out of those two, and can they expect it right away?
Yeah, absolutely. They can expect both of those guys to be on the field right away. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a difference-making athlete. He, as a junior in high school, was rated the top athlete in the country compared to some of the top seniors in the country. So you're talking about a kid that's 6'3", over 200. He can get deep. He can go high IQ guy. Going to work on his technique because, running complex route trees is something that he's going to have to be trained up on. But he has all the physical tools, and he has the aptitude to be a guy on the field right away. Ambry Thomas brings the kind of demeanor, the attitude, the temperament that you want on defense. He has big-time cover skills. It's just a matter of him getting bigger and getting some experience, but he has the kind of size right away, and it's a position of need and the kind of mentality that I think is going to get him on the field. They even have him competing for a starting position from day one.
Several big guys from inside the state they got too. Lineman Phil Paya, Raymond Hall's already on campus, Duron Irving-Bay, and you have Corey Malone-Hatcher too. So talk about the big guy haul for Michigan from in-state.
Yeah, with Phil Paya, you're a versatile guy who could be an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. Raymond Hall, a kid they got on very, very early that I think they're going to spend some time bulking up and teaching some technique. Corey Malone-Hatcher, very intriguing kid because he could be a stand-up linebacker, he could be a hand-in-the-dirt defensive end, he can be one of those hybrid guys, and you're really just scratching the surface of what he can do because he hasn't played a lot of high school football based on the injury, so you know that his best football is definitely ahead of him. Guy that I am really, really, really intrigued by is Duron Irving-Bay because this is a kid that's coming from a high school. It's my hometown in Flint, but coming from a high school that they don't have a lot of resources, don't have a lot of guys on the team. They just don't play great football. So he's 6'5", he's 270 pounds. He's a quick twitch guy that can get off the snap really, really quickly. He is a guy that has that size to pack on maybe about 25, 30 more pounds, and he doesn't have any technique yet. So you put him in a college strength and conditioning program with a guy like Greg Madison, he could be really, really good down the stretch. He's a redshirt candidate, but look for Duron Irving-Bay in a couple of years to be a guy that you really look at and say, that guy's a player for Michigan.
Then in the secondary, they lose 2 Cass Tech guys, Delano Hill and Jordan Lewis. They gain one in Jalen Kelly Powell. What does Jalen bring to the table?
Jalen brings versatility and another position of need because Michigan, they lost their Viper and Jabril Peppers. They also lost both of their safeties. So he's a guy that they recruited to be that Viper guy, maybe with more cover skills. You would maybe see them play matchups more with a guy like Jalen than they did with a guy like Jabril who would play every down. You might see Jalen play against more pass-happy teams in that position. But right now, based on the need at safety, I actually think there's a good chance that Jalen Kelly Powell lines up at safety for Michigan this year.
All right, thank you, Sam. Never a dull moment covering recruiting with Jim Harbaugh. Stay tuned for more right here on the State Champs Signing Day Special.